is up, Nerds Nation? Welcome to the Effin' Nerds Podcast, episode 20. 20, bro. Almost allowed to drink.
Almost there. Gonna have a rager pretty soon.
And I'm ready to party with the best of them. And I'm gonna go down to the river.
Telemarketers, go away!
Dude, all the time, bro. I get insurance calls. I get all kinds of shit. But anyway, my name is Nick Denis, and sitting across from me is the man himself, Martin Moreno.
What's up?
How we doing?
Good. How you doing, man?
Not too bad. So we got another awesome episode for you guys today. But before we get started, if you guys are watching on YouTube, please make sure you give us a thumbs up and click that subscribe button. And if you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or anywhere else, please check back each week as we try to upload new content for you guys to listen to. All right, before we dive into all this stuff today, we need to address the gauntlet in the room.
Shit.
Dude, this thing is awesome.
It's beautiful.
It comes from Hot Toys, aka Sideshow Collectibles.
Yep.
And it's a nice little replica of Iron Man's gauntlet.
Yeah, gauntlet. It just showed up at my doorstep. It was like, you guys are doing such a great job. Here's a little present from us. We are sponsored by Sideshow Hot Toys Collectibles. No, we are not. Just kidding.
Dude, I wish, man. We'd be loaded right now.
Oh my god! But we now have 2 Hot Toys at the table, so the collection is slowly growing. But yeah, this is it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. There's a reason these are so fucking expensive.
I know.
Because the detail in these things are insane. But yeah, it was worth every penny.
Definitely. Mm-hmm. And then the other thing I wanted to do is I wanted to give a couple shout outs to a few podcasts we've been listening to this week. I figured we'd kind of do a new kind of segment before we start where we talk about
shout out segment
before we actually kick it off into our own episode. So I guess we'll kind of do like a 1-for-1 kind of deal. I got 3. I know you got 3, right?
I got many, but I can pull out 3.
All right, yeah, we'll pull out 3. So the first one I want to do is Film Shake, the 90s movie podcast, and you can find them at 90s Movie Pod. And they're exactly as they sound. They talk about just different movies coming up in the 90s. And, you know, since we grew up in the 90s, it's really cool to see a lot of stuff that they go into. Like they had an episode on Alien 3 that I listened to, which was awesome.
And I know you're a big fan of Alien 3 too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. I really love that movie, and it's gotten better over time. But
I don't know about that.
Dude, it has.
Sure.
It has.
Sure.
I think we need to rewatch. But
I mean, I will say that it's got probably one of the most iconic Alien shots out of like this iconic franchise itself. It probably has like the most iconic shot.
I would agree.
Of the dog alien against up against Ripley.
Yeah. But like they just go into like all kinds of other stuff and really awesome. So well worth checking out.
Cool. All right, I'm gonna pull one out of my bag of Instagram podcasts that we've kind of interacted with. First off, I'll say, I liked it. Brad and Katie, they do a good job. Great job, actually. We kind of discovered them early on, like with the butts.
That was the Batman and Robin episode.
We first discovered them like right off the bat, and they hooked us in with Batman butts, and we've kind of been trapped ever since. But it's kind of been fun watching them grow and watching them kind of progress as a podcast. And yeah, they kind of cover older films like from their childhood. So it's like so a movie that they watched when they were younger, they kind of go back and revisit it, and they maybe liked it or maybe not. So that's kind of how the whole podcast theme is over there, and it's really fun to listen. So definitely check them out.
So the next one I got is Bad Dad's Film Review at dads_film. And they're basically, as the handle sounds, they're 4 dads that, you know, had kids and missed out on a lot of different movies. So now they're kind of like backtracking.
What? That's awesome.
They're backtracking and kind of rewatching some things that they missed, as well as some more recent stuff. And
That's a fun idea.
Yeah, it's a really cool concept. And one of their segments that I love is they do like a top 5, and they basically pick like a different random category. So one of the last ones I listened to is, I think their Peanut Butter Falcon episode was top 5 on fake movie products. So movie products that you love from movies that are not in like the real world, or there's a little bit of a loophole, like ones that that maybe started off in movies but then ended up becoming real products.
Like the Mighty Ducks.
But
You have never heard of the Anaheim Mighty Ducks. They named a pro team after us.
Sorry.
and then like Tarantino has all kinds of stuff like Red Apple cigarettes and different things like that. So that's a really fun segment they do, and they're between the 4 of them, they're hilarious to listen to. So
that's fun.
That's another one that's well worth checking out.
Definitely want to check out. The other one I'll say is the Non-Taken podcast, Dustin and Alan. I think it's safe to say that they're mostly like a political podcast, and I know that might stir certain people away, but I've we've kind of been listening to them for a while, and I've always enjoyed their talks. They do a really good job of like handling sometimes heavy subject matters. They kind of make it sort of enjoyable to listen to, so to speak. And yeah, they're always a fun listen. So definitely check them out. And if you leave them a good review, motherfucker, I got you, Dustin. If you leave them a good review and screenshot and send to them, they will Venmo you $5.
What?
So get ready to pay up.
Show me the money.
Because yeah, I just put you on blast. So yeah, definitely go check them out at the Non-Taken Podcast.
Nice. So then the last one I got is Critical Av, at Critical Av. And it's another thing with where it's 4 guys and they basically just review different sorts of movies. The one episode I listened to recently was Once Upon a Time in the West, which was really cool. And just hearing them kind of break down the movie and like they give and not even what I was expecting, like they give it the movie like so much depth and insight. Like it was crazy. Like I wasn't expecting it at all. And funny enough, they're from Jersey. They're from Patterson. And
not too. Hey, that's little Peru. That's Peru Central.
Yeah.
So we'll go meet up with them. We'll get some Peruvian food.
There we go.
Yeah.
And you know, me going to Montclair State, I was always right by Patterson, and they actually talked about a spot.
That doesn't mean we're from this area, though.
No, it doesn't mean that.
Yeah,
or maybe it does.
From Mars, Mercury, could be from LA, Texas. Who knows? It's a
mystery.
But they also gave a shout out to the Shannon Rose, which is I guess it's kind of like a pub, and there was one in Clifton where right by, and I always went there, and that's where they you know, one of the episodes they kicked off, they talked about it, and I was like, holy shit. I was like, I know exactly where that's at. So it was really cool. I understood that reference.
Yeah.
So yeah, but they're really awesome. They've only done like a handful of episodes so far. I think like they're fairly new, but like the couple ones they've done so far are really great, and it's well worth checking out.
Yeah, and I will say one more is the Beat Bodega podcast, which, no offense to everyone else, but they're probably like one of my favorite podcasts at the moment. They do a music mix, different type of music mixes. So it can be like 80s soundtracks, or you know, like 90s punk is like the new one. And then they have a discussion on the music. So definitely check them out. They do some really good music mixes. And if you're a big music fan, like myself am. I mean, everyone loves music,
right?
But you know, some ones are just like
a little more.
Some
than
music
others.
sluts are just a little get around a little bit more than others. And I'm definitely one of those, so definitely go check them out at the Beat Bodega Podcast. They do some good stuff.
And obviously there's just a wealth of podcasts out there, and you know, each week we'd like to give a spotlight on some of the ones that we've been listening to. Spotlight. And if you guys kind of didn't know, so me and Martin, we kind of split duties on social media. Martin kind of focuses on like the Instagram side of things. I kind of focus more on the Twitter side of things, but we do cross over every now and then. But just because
we have an annual crossover.
We have an annual crossover every now and then, but mainly because, you know, we do have, you know, our alter ego full-time jobs. You know, it's a lot of work, you know,
so we got to split duties. So, if you want to slide into Nick's DMs, go into Twitter.
Go into Twitter.
If you want to slide into my DMs, go on the gram. You know, we're gentlemen. We won't bite unless you want us to.
Right.
It totally depends. But
depends on whatever you like.
You had to take it there, bro. I kept it simple, and you had to take it an extra notch. But
bro, we go to 11 here.
You're on 10 on your guitar. Where can you go from there? Where?
I don't know.
Nowhere. Exactly. What we do is, if we need that extra push over the cliff, you know what we do?
Put it up to 11.
11, exactly. One louder.
Why don't you just make 10 louder and make 10 be the top number and make that a little louder?
These go to 11.
Spinal Tap. But yes, like Nick was saying, there's just so many podcasts that's been probably my favorite thing about this. Is just meeting all these people and interacting with everyone. And I try to be fair. So like if I tell you I'm gonna listen to your shit, I'm gonna listen to your shit.
Right.
You know, and I'll enjoy it. And so it's like, so sometimes I get a little backed up because the more people we meet, the more I kind of get backed up.
Yes.
But I have those days when I literally crank out like 5 episodes to someone.
I was gonna say, I know, like,
and it's so much fun.
You're probably the same way too. Like there's just so many podcasts that I have like on deck, just waiting to start diving into. But it's like I need to listen to these guys first and then go to these guys. So yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, but so we just highlighted 3. I'm sure maybe on the next one we'll probably highlight some more.
Yeah, definitely.
There's just so many that we've kind of interacted with and that we've been engaging with. So yeah, everyone keep doing it. You know, it's been a blast being part of this community. We've loved it so far, and we're all here to support each other. So definitely appreciate it.
No doubt. All right, now we can get into the knee deep of episode 20. So we're gonna kick things off with some casting and movie announcements. So Jake Gyllenhaal is teaming back up with his Southpaw director Antoine Fuqua for a new tense thriller called The Guilty. The film is based on the Gustav Mahler-directed Danish film with the same name that premiered at the 2018 Sundance Film Festival. The film will be produced by Gyllenhaal and Fuqua, among others, and written by True Detective creator Nick Pizzolatto.
Pizzolatto.
Is that how you say it? I don't even know.
I don't know. I just say pees a lot. Like he pees a lot. Because we're fucking immature. So much for being gentlemen.
I know, right?
God.
So production scheduled to start on this movie in November with no release date announced as of yet. Cool. This sounds really cool. I never saw The Guilty. Did you see it or no? Did you watch a trailer for it?
I watched the trailer for it, and it was really intriguing and really interesting. It did remind me of some other stuff. We've spoken about The Call, which is the Halle Berry movie.
The Call.
The Call.
Listen to me. Do not hurt that little girl. You don't have to do this.
It's already done. It's already done.
Which is a very it's almost like a similar premise where someone's calling like a 911 operator and pretty much telling them that they're being abducted, and then everything kind of goes from there.
Right.
But the Call is a similar kind of premise to that too, and that's got a very important like what's the word? A very important like I guess presence in our group of circle.
Yes, it's
in
the
annals of our group of circles.
Well, as far as I know, it's the movie that scared the shit out of Steve Fisher.
Right. So we were going on a snowboarding. Just to give a quick backstory, we were going on a snowboarding trip one time, and it was a long trip, and the movie was playing on the bus, and and Fisher wasn't watching for whatever reason. He was probably talking to someone's ear off, so he wasn't paying attention. But they were like, bro, Fisher's watching. And they're like, bro, he's scared. And then since then, it's always been a thing that Fisher is scared of The Call.
Of The Call. That
like,
Halle Berry movie.
The Halle Berry, like now, like 6-7 years later, it's still every now and then comes up, The Call. Yeah. But it reminded me of that. It reminded me of Cellular. Yes. Like we've spoken about the Kim Basinger and Chris Evans movie.
Which I love that movie.
It's not, I mean, I haven't seen it in forever.
No, I was saying like that's one of those movies that's like, it's not like the greatest movie ever, but it's just it's such a fun gem.
But it feels like a very like just seeing the pictures feels like a very mid 2000s movie.
It's of its time for sure.
And I totally forgot that Jason Statham was in it.
Well, so is William H. Macy. He plays a cop who's trying to open up a beauty salon.
It's a day spa, you fuck.
It's hysterical.
Oh my god,
I love that movie.
But yeah, kind of to get back to it, stay on target. What this. Like, yes, it gave me flavors of those movies, but what it really reminded me of the most was one of the Oscar-nominated live-action shorts from last year. Mm-hmm. It was called A Sister. I believe it was a Belgian film, and it's very similar to this. It's about a like 911 operator who gets a phone call from a woman, and she pretends to be her sister. So like the kidnapper, so to speak, is saying like you can hear him in the phone being like who you're talking to, and then she's like I'm talking to my sister, and then they kind of give each other like code words and kind of like these kind of like code words to pretty much figure out what's going on. So
yeah,
she's
almost like communicate to one another.
Right. She's like if you're being abducted,
things.
say like a color, you know, like stuff like that. And I remember watching that and I'm like, there's so much you can do with this premise. It was like a very intriguing premise.
Is that the one that you told me that they made into a longer film, or was that a different live action short?
No, that was oh fuck, dude. Now you just got oh no, what is it? Oh, it's like right on the tip of my tongue, but
all right. Well, if it comes back to you, we'll cut in with it.
Yeah. But no, that was like that started off like very tense, and it was very like it got like the blood pumping, but I felt like it was just like it was like a flat ending because then they use their code language to pretty much figure out where they are, and the cops go and like
it really had like no punch.
Yeah, it had no punch, and for the most part, a lot of these nominated shorts have like bleak endings. Mm-hmm. Like it's crazy how because I've seen the Oscar nominated shorts like almost every single year for the past like couple years.
Oh, good for you.
And they, for the most part, they're like dark and like melancholy, have like very bleak, mute endings. So I remember just watching and thinking like, there's a lot that you can do here. And seeing the trailer, it reminded me of that. And obviously, Fuqua is like we've spoken about how he could possibly be like a bit of a hit or miss director, but he always has your interest. Mm-hmm. So him with Gyllenhaal, like I'm all about it. Like let's do it.
Yeah, I mean their last project there was Southpaw, which was a little bit mixed. I think I was a little disappointed with it because I think I had a lot of hype going into it. I was like, because I love boxing movies, I like Fuqua, I like Gyllenhaal, I was like this could be awesome, and then like it just really didn't like completely click in terms of the movie. But I am so excited for this pairing. I think that they did do good work together with Southpaw, just in terms of like from a director actor standpoint. And I think this could be cool. And then the fact that you've got Nick Pizzolatto in there. See, now it's in my head.
Nick Pizzolatto.
But the fact that he's writing the script gives me a little bit more intrigue into this, because I love the first season of True Detective. Obviously, second season is not that great, but I still I would say he was rushed on it. And then when he took a little bit of time off and came back with season 3 kind of harkened back to season 1. Really awesome season 3. I love season 3. So I am, excited to see how, what he does with this project in terms of the
shout out to Ray Fischer on season 3, which we will get to.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I'm with you. It's a very interesting project, and I've personally seen similar sort of projects like this. So I'm excited to see now kind of like on a bigger, kind of grander scale.
Yeah, definitely. All right, we're going to stay on the subject of Jake Gyllenhaal because he confirmed this week on Team Deacon's podcast, which is Roger Deacon's podcast. And for the life of me, I have no idea why the hell I have not listened to this podcast yet.
Call yourself a fan?
I know.
What would you say you do here?
Have you listened to it yet?
I've listened to like a few episodes. Not a lot.
Nice. How is it?
But it's, dude, I mean, I already said this, but it's like Deacon, sometimes when he speaks, it just sounds like he doesn't give a fuck and that he just hates everyone. He just has this like very like no fucks given swag and vibe to him, and I love listening to him talk. Go watch his Oscar acceptance speech. He's just sitting up there with like his like fucking shirt unbuttoned, like just like there, like leaning, like yeah, like cool.
I want to share this with my wife of 27 years, James. Whatever.
And then he like fucking bails.
Right. Well, on that episode that he was on, he talked about working with Denis Villeneuve, who we're obviously massive fans of, and he kind of dropped this little bit of information that they're working on a secret project together.
Bombs!
Diabolical bitches. So the two obviously have worked together before on Enemy and Prisoners, and in Prisoners, Roger Deakins shot it. So
so they all kind of have a familiarity,
a bit of a connection. Yeah.
Right. And Denis Villeneuve also said how after doing 2 massive back-to-back films with Blade Runner and Dune, that he kind of wants to shift his attention towards much smaller movies. And these sort of smaller story-driven movies have been films where Gyllenhaal and Denis have both excelled in.
Yes.
It's not. I don't want to say it's like their wheelhouse, because they both have shown what they can do on both aspects, whether it's small films or big budget films. So, but yeah, this just, I mean, I'm excited for if you put fucking Denis Villeneuve's name and Jake Gyllenhaal's name to a project, I'm going to be excited and interested right away.
Yeah.
Combined, right. And the fact there's a smaller story, that actually makes me a little bit more excited, because that's going to be more story driven, more character focused, and I'm all about it.
Yeah, and that's definitely within Denis' like wheelhouse in terms of like doing like those smaller, more character driven kind of movies. That's kind of what he came up in. And I'm not like the biggest fan of Enemy. Like I kind of appreciate it for what it is, but I'm not like a massive fan of it.
I think it's fine.
I think it's fine too. Yeah. But like Prisoners, I love Prisoners. So I'm really excited to see them team up and do something.
Enemy is like I'm not gonna get into it because it's a bit of a like we can go into a whole conversation about Enemy.
Enemy's has a lot of metaphorical elements into it. Ways to interpret things differently. So
and it's almost like very whip out the mind.
It's heady.
Yeah,
it's definitely heady for sure.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to move on to some Scream 5 casting news, which I know you're fucking excited about.
Christmas.
So, Neve Campbell took to social media to confirm that she'll be returning to Scream 5 to reprise her role as Sidney Prescott, and as well as Marley Shelton, who played Deputy Judy Hicks in Scream 4, is also coming back.
Your lemon squares taste like ass.
And then you have newcomers Dylan Minetti, Mason Gooding, and Mikey Madsen rounding out the cast. Scream 5 is set to be released in January of 2022, with production starting this fall. I think we kind of expected Sidney Prescott to come back after you have David Arquette and Courtney Cox.
We were hoping I kind of figured that it was already in the bag, and they just were kind of waiting to it. But yeah, it's cool. They pretty much rounded out their cast. I'm really excited that Sidney Prescott and Neve Campbell's coming back. Marley Shelton. I love Marley Shelton. She will always be Wendy Peppercorn to me. She
100%.
played a huge part in my puberty, as she did.
I think in a lot of people's puberty.
A lot of kids.
Wendy Peppercorn.
A lot of youngins. She's still a very iconic figure that gets brought up every now and then. I mean, even girls to this day are dressing up as Winnie Peppercorn.
Absolutely.
Like that just goes to show
that's still a hugely popular wedding Halloween costume.
The impact that she had on our generation, so to speak. But yeah, and then these other these other actors. I like this because Mason Gooding and Dylan Minnette both have a sort of horror background. Dylan Minnette was in Don't Breathe, the Fede Alvarez movie.
Yep.
And Mason Gooding was in Swamp Thing, the DC Universe show, which was canceled for whatever reason. And then like we were speaking about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the what's her name again? I'm sorry.
Mikey Madsen.
Or
Madison.
Madison.
Yeah.
She was one of the Manson girls.
The Manson girls.
Yeah, and like she even like that end scene has like a bit of a creepy vibe to it.
Yeah, it does. It has a little bit of horror aspects to it.
Yeah, and then even the way she's dressed with her little white face, like just she kind of has this kind of like pale, sort of like ghost creepy vibe to it.
And she has like this very like manic energy. Like,
yeah,
like, hey man,
which could work in Scream.
It could.
Scream every now and then gets over the top, so it can definitely work there. And she can scream.
What the fuck?
Oh, she definitely can scream. That's for sure.
Hit those notes. So yeah, I'm excited about this, and I'm all for get this going. This is exciting.
Yeah, definitely. And you actually told me something very interesting, something that you read on the interwebs, a little bit of a possible spin on Sidney Prescott's character, that she is going to be the Drew Barrymore of this.
Yes, well,
there
were theories floating around, because I don't really go into the. I hate Twitter.
The Twitter sphere?
I hate Twitter. I think it's like the most toxic place. The gram is pretty bad too. I think Nick can tolerate it a little bit more than I do.
I tolerate because I have to, but I fucking hate Twitter.
Yeah, but he got the short end of the stick.
Yeah.
But the little bit that I saw on there that people were saying was that some people, and this has absolutely no weight to it whatsoever, but some people are speculating that she could possibly play the Casey Becker role, which was the Drew Barrymore role from the first one. And if you think about that time, I believe it was 1996. Drew Barrymore was huge.
Yeah, she was in like Never Been Kissed and like a lot of these like big like romantic comedies that were coming out. So she was like,
even like wait for like E.T. Firestarter. Like,
well, yeah, but just at that time in the 90s, that's when she was starring in a lot of these bigger type movies.
Yeah.
So she was kind of like the it girl at the time.
She was a name.
Right.
So you put her like you hire her in the movie, you splash her in front of the poster, and then you kill her off within like 5.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, wasn't she like at like the front of the poster too?
She was at the very front.
Yeah.
Because I remember like if you're looking at the poster, she was like the very front person, like on the left.
Right.
And then everyone else kind of like was scaled down behind, like beyond her. But yeah, you have like this big name, you bring her on, and then boom, you kill her off, and that's one of the reasons why that movie is such like iconic, really.
Yeah,
and like almost like a trendsetter, and how it kind of like changed the genre for many
I mean, can we
reasons.
talk like that's such a genius move too? Like the fact that you market like this big name star only to have them like killed off within like the first like 15 minutes. Like
yeah, I mean it's happened a couple times in films.
But just in general, like I think like that was one of the first movies to like really market this like this character and be like, this is going to be one of the big. And all of a sudden it's like, I mean, it's kind of like Psycho a little bit, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like in that same sense. But I think Janet Leigh was in Psycho way longer than Drew Barrymore was. You know what I mean? So it was such a shock when she got killed off in the first 15 minutes, because then
it is so good.
It is really good, but then it kind of
much.
just sets that tone that like nobody's safe. You know what I mean? And that's why that's such an awesome move that Wes Craven did.
And if they do that here, I'd be all about it.
Yeah.
Like I mean, I love the franchise, I love the character of Sidney Prescott, but we've kind of seen for the most part the same thing kind of get repeated every now and then. Like yes, everyone has a different motive. Excuse me. Like yes, everyone has a different motive. But yeah, like maybe like if they were to go ahead and kind of turn it on its head and start it off that way, like I'd be all for it. Like why not?
Yeah, and the fact that we're in like the 5th movie of the franchise, you got to do something fresh to shake things up. So this might be the thing that they end up doing.
Right, and you can possibly almost in a way also reboot the franchise. Like okay, she gets killed off, and maybe we'll follow someone else. You know, like another of one of these young characters that like she passed on the torch, so to speak.
Yeah.
And
I would say I got another question for you.
Oh, what's up?
Is Jack Quaid the killer?
Yes. Yes, 100% yes. When we were putting the pictures together for episode 19, and we were looking for Jack Quaid photos for the banner, because the banner that we talked about when he got casted, I'm looking through these photos, and I'm like, this motherfucker is definitely the killer.
He's the killer.
There's no doubt in my mind. He is definitely the killer. He just seeing that smirky, like, fuck you grin on his face. He's pretty tall. He's going to be able to fill out the costume pretty well. I mean, he's skinny, but the costume is loose, so it doesn't matter.
Right.
But he'll, like, he can have, like, a pretty good presence in the costume. There's no doubt in my mind. Take it to the bank, put all the chips in, Vegas odds, whatever the fucking metaphors are.
Metaphor.
And yeah, he's definitely going to be the killer. I'm calling it now.
I'll say, because you had me thinking that he could possibly play kind of like this, like, super fanatic of like these murders like from the previous movies, which they kind of did before with Scream 4, right?
You always have the one horror fanatic, the horror film, like the movie enthusiast who knows all the films.
Yes.
You know, like Randy was the like we mentioned, Randy was the first one and the second one, and then obviously in the fourth one you had Rory Culkin and Eric Knudsen.
Yes,
they're like the leaders of the cinema club, so to speak, and they were like the movie fanatics, and they got killed off. But actually. No, but spoiler alert. I mean, it's been like 9 years, whatever. But Rory Culkin's character was actually one of the killers, Charlie.
Oh, right, right.
Charlie and Emma Roberts' characters, like they were both like partners in crime.
Cahoots.
Yes, so to speak. But even like Hayden Panettiere has like the moment when she just like fires off all like the scary movies. There's always like low key movie fans in this sort of franchise. So
yeah, well, the franchise has always been very like meta in that sense of calling like the horror tropes and different things like that. So, and I'm sure this one's going to be loaded with all kinds of stuff,
especially now, like with technology and everyone's being connected and everything. Like, yeah, I'm really excited to see what they're going to do with this. Like, super excited.
Yeah, definitely. All right, next up we have a Madonna biopic that's actually in the works. So Madonna has teamed with screenwriter Diablo Cody, producer Amy Pascal, and Universal for a biopic on Madonna. She will co-write the script with Cody and direct the untold true story about her life, which I guess the movie's called The Untold True Story since it's in quotes.
I don't fucking know. But on Variety, it was like, or that site that we got it from, it was in quotes.
Right.
Like the untold true story.
And I gotta admit, I was curious as to why we were talking about the Madonna biopic, and I know exactly why, because you're a huge fan of Diablo Cody.
I love Diablo Cody, man. That's my girl. Look, she came out the gate swinging with Juno. She came out, wrote this amazing script. It was very fun, quirky, had this different energy that was that felt very fresh, and she won her Oscar. But I feel since then, she hasn't really been able to like almost kind of like escape that shadow or kind of like surpass. You know what I mean? Like she hasn't been. You made a good point. What was the point that you made the other day of?
What about Diablo Cody?
Yeah, of how she hasn't been able to like sort of.
Well, it's like she's kind of been living in that Juno shadow, and she hasn't lived up to that potential, at least in the eyes of like her critics. She hasn't lived up to that potential since Juno, because she won the Oscar for it. You know what I mean? So. You know, and then I don't remember, was Jennifer's Body was not her follow-up project. It was something else, I think, right?
I believe it was.
That was
Jennifer's
the follow-up.
Body was 2009.
Okay,
and
so that was that came right after Juno.
Yeah, which was 2 years later.
Right,
and then she did like smaller projects and here and there.
Yeah, and Jennifer's Body obviously was not critically well received, and I'm pretty sure it bombed at the box office. But since then, it has. I think it recently just had like its 10-year anniversary, and since then, like it's developed this cult following. It has a lot of fans. So,
which I'm a proud member of that cult.
Are you the leader of that cult?
I'm not the leader of that cult. I am not Klaus, but I'm a proud member of it. I love that film so much.
Yeah, but you know, now it's kind of getting a little bit of recognition and stuff. So it's good to see that she's like, because I'm pretty sure this is probably the first really big high profile project she's been attached to since Juno.
Probably. I mean, I would say like
or Jennifer's Body. You know what I mean?
I don't know, because I mean, when you think of Jennifer's Body. By the way, I'm sorry that I keep itching.
You got the allergies,
bro. It's so bad. But I mean, Megan Fox was a huge. I mean, she's
at the time.
At the time, because of Transformers and everything, she was like this new smoke show baby. that was like on the scene.
Right.
And then Tully. I mean, it was Charlize Theron.
Charlize.
So she's been in projects that like have been linked to like high profile names, but. I just feel like she hasn't been able to sort of like break away from the shadow or sort of like.
Well, in terms of like that mainstream kind
and just kind of like just push away from it and like break a new ground and kind of like come back on because she's also I believe showrunning the Powerpuff Girls live action show.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so I mean she's getting work. That's the thing. Like she's getting work. I just want her to kind of like just put it on the table and just be like, look. This is what I can do because I'm Diablo Cody. I'm awesome because I have all the faith in her. I believe in her, and I just really hope that she knocks us out of the park because this could be like really huge for her.
Definitely, but all I'm saying, bro, is that if this movie does not go into Madonna's phenomenal turn in Die Another Day, just fucking throw that out.
No thanks. I don't like cockfights.
Just throw it out. I don't want to deal with it.
And no, but on top of that, I'll double down, like we spoke about. Rodman. I want to see the behind the scenes of her relationship with Rodman. Because according to The Last Dance, we wouldn't have gotten Dennis Rodman if it wasn't for Madonna.
It's true.
Madonna was the one that broke him out of his shell. She was the one who was like, if you want to wear this crazy shit, wear it. If you want to dye your hair, dye it. If you want to take naked pictures with exotic animals, do it. Like, be you. And he was like,
he did all that.
And he did all that and some. So, bro, strippers owe so much money to Madonna because of the just rampage that he went on in Vegas over his career. So yeah, I just think, like, I'm not crazy about this because I definitely think there's a market and audience for this movie.
Well, she does have a massive fan base.
Yeah, so I think the audience and the market is definitely there. I wouldn't necessarily put myself in that market, but we'll see. We'll see. Maybe once we get more news, maybe some more casting, everything can change. But as of now, it's just like, I'm just like, whatever.
Whatever. Yeah, like that little yeah. I have one more thing to talk about with this little segment. To a little bit of a callback to last week with Hollywood Nut Jobs. Respectfully, Hollywood Nut Jobs. Respectfully, Hollywood Nut Jobs.
With all due respect. And remember, I'm saying with all due respect.
Amy Pascal is attached to this project.
She's our Nut Job of the week.
She's our Nut Job of the week.
Oh my God.
And this is not a knock on her because she is like she's the shit. You know what I mean? Like she's one of the reasons why Seth Rogen, is as successful as he is, because she obviously, I think you told me this, that she's the one that greenlit like Superbad and a lot of other projects.
Superbad and Pineapple. Well, it was first Superbad. People weren't making it, and then he took it to her, and she was like, "Yeah, like let's fucking do it." And then immediately greenlit Pineapple Express.
Right.
So a lot of these movies that people were scared to touch, she was like, "Yeah, fuck it, let's do it." And obviously, Spider-Verse, which is considered as one of the great superhero movies by many people,
was her.
Was Pascal Pictures. Sausage Party again. Like, she's not scared. And then she even had an Oscar win, not an Oscar winner, but an Oscar contender with The Post.
Yes.
Like 2-3 years ago.
Right.
So she's a great producer. Let's not get it twisted. No. But she's fucking insane.
But you one crazy ass bitch.
When you see pictures, I watch a lot of interviews. When I watch interviews with her, like, that woman looks like she hasn't slept in weeks.
She's just putting her caffeine right here.
She's just literally like and just putting it right up in there.
Why don't we take a little break, get a cup of Joe? I know I'm gonna put mine right in here.
And there was a big leaks that she threw a sandwich at Kevin Feige.
Yes.
Chrissy, for Christ's sake, fuck all of you.
Hey, motherfucker!
Hold it.
So.
When all those leaks leaked, and then just reading like her emails of her response to the people, like she's crazy.
Yeah, but she does good.
She does good stuff.
She does good work. So kudos to you. You are respectful.
Remember, I'm saying with all due respect.
Hollywood Nut Job of the week. And shout out to the Arnies. If this becomes a thing, the Arnies kind of
I would say we'll give them credit for that.
Yeah,
one.
I kind of spawned it. So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, next up we have some Disney Plus MCU show news, which I feel like this has been a long time coming because ever since like COVID hit, I feel like we haven't heard shit about any of these shows, and they announced like so many of them, and now we're finally starting to get some stuff here. So we're gonna kick it off with the Falcon and Winter Soldier, which recently resumed production after being shut down due to the coronavirus, and now recent set photos have been released, and they're showing new looks at the characters, including Sebastian Stan and Anthony Mackie in the title characters, as well as Emily Van Camp as Sharon Carter, and George St. Pierre as Batroc, right? Batroc?
Yeah, Batroc the Leaper.
Which I had no idea he was coming back. He's reprising his role from Winter Soldier. Like, oh shit, that's awesome.
Yeah, I saw Seth Rogen. I was like, oh, cool. I love GSP. He's my favorite fighter, so cool to see him back. And yeah, pretty much what we got from this is kind of reiterated as sort of like espionage, spy thriller, more grounded vibe. Mm-hmm. If it's very keen to the Winter Soldier aesthetic, so to speak. So it's cool. I mean, it's fun to see his suits, but however, it's monochromatic. So
that's right, yeah. Because Anthony Mackie dropped like that one photo of him smoking a cigar, being all badass in the suit. So even though we've kind of seen what the suit's going to look like, just seeing it like because the merchandise and stuff, but just in person we really haven't yet. So, but the photo was in black and white, so we still don't know like what the colors look like in terms of like in motion and everything like that.
Right, but yeah, it's cool to see, and I'm excited for to get this kind of rolling because I'm really excited for the show.
Yeah, definitely, and I'm also happy that Daniel Bruhl's coming back to reprise his character from Civil War.
Which we're big fans of.
He's kind of like going to be the main bad guy of the show, which is cool.
I hope they give him the sock. I want to see that sock.
Oh no, he's definitely getting the sock. For sure, it's been confirmed.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And we saw that little. I think there's
that
like a little snippet, yeah,
right, of someone going in there like frame by frame, like freaking out those
and
fucking nerds.
it's
Like,
nope.
oh my god, he's got the sock.
He's got the sock on.
But yeah, I'm excited for this.
Definitely. And the other cool thing was Disney Plus came out and confirmed that WandaVision is still slated to come out later this year, but no release date has been given yet. So I'm assuming it's going to be around probably Christmas time, I would think.
And it goes to show the difference in productions with these two shows.
Right, because it seems like WandaVision is going to be more contained, more bottled up.
Right, more kind of like a, I guess you can fill a lot of those voids with like almost like CG and shit. Where the Falcon and Winter Soldier is like, I feel like they're doing a lot of on-set, on-location shooting and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm really excited for WandaVision. I really enjoyed the Tom King Vision run. That kind of took a more sort of what's the like domestic approach to the character.
Yeah.
So from what we've seen, I kind of feel like we're gonna get a little bit of that, and yeah, this I'm all for it.
Right, and from what I've heard from the show, it's supposed to be very like trippy and out there, and very different than what we've gotten from the MCU before. So that already piques my interest.
Yeah, and this is supposed to have like maybe some possible tie-ins with the multiverse of madness.
Yes.
So to speak.
Yes.
Well, then everyone loses their minds.
So that could be exciting.
I'm all about it. I'm all about it.
And then we've got a little bit of breaking news. So
breaking news. You heard it here first. The effing nerds got the scoop. We got our inside sources hitting us up. And now we are going to talk about it now, which will probably get released like in a couple of days.
Like a week or so. It's going to be old news at this point.
But hey, as of this recording,
it's breaking news.
So if wherever you see it, just remember we're the one they got it from us.
They got it from us. Yeah.
From us.
So, Emmy-winning actress Tatiana Maslany, best known for her starring turn in Orphan Black, as well as Stronger with Jake Gyllenhaal, and this year's HBO series Perry Mason, has been tapped to play Jennifer Walters, a.k.a. She-Hulk, which is set to be released on Disney+. I might butcher this name. Kate Quiero, I hope I said that right, has been hired to direct multiple episodes of the series, and I think she's also the showrunner for this as well. And then Jessica Gayo will also lead the writer's room, so I'm guessing she's going to be like the head writer of the series.
And I believe one of them has experience with like Brooklyn Nine-Nine,
which I think is Kate Quiero. I think.
Okay,
yeah, she's
and,
the
like,
one.
Broad City, I believe.
Yeah, she's got like the kind of a comedy background.
Right. So kind of almost makes you think that it's going to be more almost like in the comedy sort of
route.
This is awesome. I'm really excited for this. I did not expect this at all because I don't think Tatiana Maslany physically looks like the character. Like Alison Brie looks just like Jessica Walters. It's kind of crazy.
Right.
But or Jennifer Garner, like we were saying all the time. But yeah, I really like Tatiana Maslany. This is awesome, good for her, and yeah, like I'm all about it. Let's do it.
Right, and this is kind of the first of the newer announced Disney Plus Marvel shows that kind of have moved forward with like casting and stuff. Because when Disney Plus kind of first dropped, it was we knew it was going to come with Falcon Winter Soldier, Loki, WandaVision, and the Hawkeye series, and then later on they had announced She-Hulk, Moon Knight, and I think Ms. Marvel as well.
Right. Right, yeah. Which I've recently kind of hopped on the Miss Marvel bandwagon, so to speak, and I'm a huge fan. Like, she's a very fun character, and she's from Jersey City.
Nice.
So
which we may or may not
be from. Who knows? It's a mystery. But yeah, for all we know, this could have been already like casted, but just with everything that happened,
right? They just were kind of holding on to it.
Yeah, but I'm glad they got the showrunner. I'm glad they got their lead, and I'm looking forward to more news.
Yeah, definitely. All right, before we jump into our main topics for the day, we're going to talk about some movie delays, which I think we kind of expected coming after Tenet was released at the box office and really didn't make a splash in the U.S. I think it's doing okay foreign, but
like globally,
it's okay, right, but like here, it's really not making any waves. So Warner Brothers has delayed Wonder Woman 1984 yet again. The highly anticipated sequel has shifted from its October 2nd release date to Christmas Day of this year, and then also in similar news. And Similus.
Get the lewds.
Get the lewds. Get the lewds.
I will not die sober. Get those fucking loads.
So in similar news, Black Widow has reportedly been delayed yet again, with Pixar's Soul potentially being dropped onto Disney+. So Black Widow, like the reports came out that it was going to get delayed. They haven't said what they're going to do with it yet, but there's I think it's going to happen. And then Soul is probably going to go to that premium VOD spot on Disney Plus, like Mulan was.
Right. And I'm not too crazy about all this sort of jumping, like, oh, let's go another 2 months. Let's delay another 2 months. Delay another 2 months. If you're going to delay it, look, this is just me personally. Just say delay it indefinitely.
Yeah.
See how everything's going to play out, and then give it a proper release date. At this point, I don't think it's a good idea to delay Black Widow again, because then you're going to literally, because Eternals is coming out in February supposedly.
Right.
If you delay it again, you're going to put it too close to Eternals. You're going to possibly push everything back. Everything's going to start to get very crowded. It's going to start getting very diluted. So like,
I was gonna say, I feel like 2021's already just
it's
completely
already, bro,
crowded.
and it's just like, look, drop Black Widow on
Disney Plus.
Disney Plus, along with Soul. I know there was a lot of controversy with Mulan, so I'm not sure how those numbers did. If they didn't do well, then I think it's safe to say
you might be able to kind of just put it off on the fact that it had so much controversy around it.
So, and if you look at, I believe, we're not 100% sure, but I believe that Trolls, when that was first, when everything first kind of hit the fan, that had a pretty successful VOD release.
Yes, I think it did.
So I think Soul, especially being Thanksgiving time, families, holidays, I think that could do really well on Disney Plus.
I think so too, and I've been hearing people that have seen some cuts of the film that it's one of Pixar's better movies, and it is Pixar, so you're at least getting a decent movie.
You're at least getting 3 tiers,
right?
At least.
Are you crying?
No, I just have something in both my eyes.
Yeah, I mean, you can trust Pixar at this point to give you a good movie.
Yeah,
no matter what.
Definitely.
And we really enjoyed Onward.
Oh, I love Onward.
It's about a guy who's never met his dad, so right off the bat, most relatable Pixar film ever.
For you.
For me. But yeah, it's just I'm just not a big fan of this, like, Wonder Woman just jumping X amount of months. If you're going to delay it, I would just say delay Wonder Woman indefinitely until everything, because we have no idea what's going to happen with the holidays.
Right.
There's already talks that shit's going to start, that stuff is possibly happening in regards to COVID. So I would just say delay indefinitely until the waters kind of calm down, and then just drop Black Widow on Disney Plus.
Yeah, the only thing I would say is I do like the Christmas Day slot for Wonder Woman. I think
it's a great slot.
I think it could make a ton of money, and I think if things are okay at that point, COVID wise, I think families will go out to see Wonder Woman in theaters. I think it could bring. Yeah,
I'm saying, like, right now, just leave it there. But if it comes down to where you have to delay it again, just don't do it another 2 months. Another 2 months. Just.
And it is interesting that you said Black Widow should just go to Disney Plus. I think, even though, coming from us, we prefer to see as many movies in theaters as we possibly can, no matter what size or scale they are. I feel like Black Widow would make a killing if they released it on video on demand. I feel like everybody would buy that movie. So if you're Disney and you want to make money, I feel like that's
put it on there for $30. I think people would definitely buy that for sure, especially households who have, like, if you're in a household like us, we're in a household of 3, so to speak. Split it 3 ways. That's $10 a person. That's way cheaper than any fucking movie ticket we're going to get around this area anyway. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So even though movies are constantly getting delayed, that hasn't stopped new movie trailers from coming out. So we're going to kick it off with the first trailer, which is Love and Monsters, starring Dylan O'Brien, Jessica Henwick, and Michael Rooker. The film is described as a post-apocalyptic action comedy in which Joel Dawson, who is played by Dylan O'Brien, ventures out into a giant creature-infested land to find his high school girlfriend, Amy... Oh, just Amy. Her name's just Amy. I thought there was a last name. Amy. The film is scheduled to be released in theaters and on demand by Paramount Pictures on October 16th, 2020.
Right.
I remember hearing about this. They dropped a couple pictures for it, and I was like, oh, this sounds kind of cool. And then I saw the trailer, and I was like,
Yeah.
It didn't look too great.
The only reason it's on here is because Bob was like, doesn't Nick like post-apocalyptic movies? And I was like, yeah. He's like, all right, I'm going to add it. I was like, all right, whatever. Like, I don't give a fuck.
I mean, I did like seeing Michael Rooker in this trailer. I think he brings like just all kinds of energy. And when he comes on screen in this trailer, that's exactly what he does. And some of the creatures are kind of cool looking, but the CG is a little hit or miss.
It's a little rough.
And it's a little rough. And like the vibe of the trailer was very strange. Like, I guess they're supposed to be leaning into like the comedy aspect, but I'm pretty sure there's a part where Dylan O'Brien's family gets like murked like very early on,
Yeah,
and he just has
stepped on,
and he just has like this very blank stare on his face. So I'm just like, all right.
It reminded me of like The Mist.
Yeah,
like those creatures, or like some sort of like, or like Kong Skull Island. It feels like there's just regular bugs and animals that are like almost like mutated.
So it's like an environmental kind of thing.
Right. It's kind of, I mean, I love monsters, so it was cool to see some monster designs, but I'm with you. It just felt like it just felt like a little blah. I feel like I feel like just go watch Warm Bodies.
Right.
I kind of got like a similar vibe from that too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we'll see, but it's not. I'm not gonna pay for it. That's
right.
for sure.
No, definitely not.
I'm not paying for that movie.
All right, we're going to move on to the Trial at Chicago 7, which is something that we've both really been like anticipating. And I believe it's coming out on Netflix later this year. I think October.
In a month.
Yeah, in like a month.
Same, October 16th.
Yeah, October 16th. Oh, October 16th. Cool.
So are we going to watch this or Love and Monsters?
That's a tough one.
Tough one, bro.
It's a really
it's
tough
a tough one.
So if you don't know about the Trial of Chicago 7, it is an upcoming legal drama that stars Sacha Baron Cohen, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Mark Rylance, and so many other people like Michael Keaton.
Stacked. Frank Langella.
Like really stacked cast. The movie follows the Chicago 7, a group of anti-Vietnam War protesters charged with the conspiracy in late 1969 relating to charges of crossing state lines in the intention of inciting riots in the 1968 Democratic Convention in Chicago. And reading these notes, the film was set to be released next month on October 16th, 2020.
Bob puts hard work into those notes.
He does
and
put
you
hard
don't
work.
even fucking read them.
Well, I was a little off yesterday, but anyway, this is awesome. I got everything I wanted from this trailer, even though it's only like a minute and a half. But it's they definitely cut it to be very relevant with what's going on. Yeah, definitely, and the fact that it is Aaron Sorkin writing and directing, and with this immense amount of casting. I mean, you just got to think that this is going to be awesome.
Mm-hmm. And I like what he did with Molly's Game, so I'm excited to see his sophomore effort, so to speak.
Yeah, absolutely. The next show we're going to jump to is Synchronic. The film stars Anthony Mackie and James Dornan and follows two paramedics in New Orleans who are ripped apart after a series of horrific deaths that are caused by a new designer drug. The film is set to be released next month on October 23rd, 2020. This trailer was awesome.
Yeah.
It really awesome. And trippy as fuck.
Mindbender.
The directors had done The Endless and a few other movies. They haven't like really taken off into the mainstream yet, but they have their fans and their fans are passionate as fuck. I was reading about it and people love them. They're saying if you haven't seen their movies yet, definitely go check them out.
Dude, this trailer made me want to watch The Endless. And it's on Netflix, I believe.
Yes.
So I definitely want to check that out very soon.
Yeah, the directors are Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead. So I want to give them a little bit of a shout out because they seem to be like they're going to explode really soon because I think Synchronic premiered at TIFF last year.
Yeah.
When we were there, we didn't get the chance to see it, but
I haven't even heard of it until now.
Well, I remember it made a bit of a splash because the people that did see it really loved it and they said the movie's really good. And the poster's actually really fucking awesome too. I'm looking at it now.
Yeah, it's like
really,
it definitely
really
looks
cool
like they're going
stuff.
to be jumping between space and time.
Yes.
Yeah, I got Requiem for a Dream vibes. I got like Adjustment Bureau vibes. I got Butterfly Effect vibes.
Yeah.
So I got a lot of stuff from this trailer, and it's described as a sci-fi horror, which is my favorite genre, if that's even a genre. But
it's a subgenre.
Sure.
Yeah.
Why not? But yeah, I'm really excited for this. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, definitely.
I also got Black Mirror vibes, mostly because
Anthony Mackie. Yeah.
Anthony Mackie was in the Black Mirror episode, which is like just seeing him kind of like fucking doze off and be all weird and shit. So,
right.
So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to this. This looks awesome.
Yeah, and I definitely love my my like mindfuck type of movies, you know, especially after just seeing Tenet and all kinds of other stuff like
hard sci-fi.
Hard. I'm into hard sci-fi.
I'm into hard sci-fi. Fantasy is bullshit.
Or Puff Daddy and Get Him to the Greek. You ever been mindfucked before?
It's called mindfucking. You ever been mindfucked before?
I don't think so.
I'm mindfucking you right now.
You are?
Can you feel my dick fucking your mind?
I can't really feel anything.
See, that's it. That's the art of it.
All right, and on to our last trailer, and it's coming from Blumhouse. So they have a new film called Freaky. The slasher comedy stars Vince Vaughn and Catherine Newton and follows a high school student, Millie Kessler, who becomes the newest target of the Butcher, an infamous serial killer, during her senior year. When the killer's magical dagger causes her to swap bodies with him, she discovers she has only a day to reverse the switch, or else she's going to remain trapped as a middle-aged murderer hunted by the city forever, while the real killer, who is trapped inside her body, targets her classmates at homecoming. The film is set to be released later this year on November 13th, 2020. So yeah, this is another fun like
this trailer was awesome.
Body swap kind of deal.
It's literally the hot chick with a serial killer.
The serial killer.
Yeah.
And it's played by Vince Vaughn nonetheless.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's the thing. I'm not really I've fallen off the Vince Vaughn bandwagon, so to speak.
Well, have you seen Brawl in Cell Block 99?
You always bring that.
I do bring it up.
I have. It's a good movie, and
yes.
he does do a good job in it. But it's despite that, you know, or True Detective, which we talked about. Like I just felt like I got burned too many times with him, like in the mid to late 2000s. It was like the same shit.
Like with his comedies?
Yeah, with the same shit and like the same like delivery and that quick like quippy stuff that he edited it over and over again. And yeah, I do Cell Block, and that's a completely different performance. That's like,
I know, man.
That's hard.
Yes.
That's way.
And he's fucking good in it.
Yeah, he is good in it. But I remember seeing that, and I enjoyed it, even though I was just like still not over it completely. You know, I have trust issues, so I'm sorry. And then same thing with True Detective. That season just kind of was just not great.
Well, that's the thing too. Is I thought he gave a good performance, but he was saddled with some of the worst fucking dialogue. I like some of the things he has to say in that is so ridiculous that comes out of his mouth. And you can tell he's trying so hard to say this with a straight face.
But even some that like bad season to me, like Rachel McAdams, fucking Colin Farrell, like Taylor Kitsch, they stuck out way more to me.
Really? Because I thought they all to me, I think they all had their moments, I thought.
I mean, it was not good, regardless.
No, yeah, the season was not good.
Yeah, but to me,
I thought they all
had
their moments.
I just, Rachel McAdams is another one too, who like, this is like the first time ever that she didn't have like a loud, obnoxious laugh.
Right.
Like, she always has her like loud, obnoxious laugh.
Yeah.
I love Rachel McAdams, but yeah, this to me, like, I really liked seeing him in this. This to me really worked. So maybe this is going to bring me back on the Vince Vaughn bandwagon, so to speak. And
hopefully.
And yeah, this is supposed to be a spinoff in the Happy Death Day universe.
Is it really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I love those two movies. I think
awesome.
Both of them are a lot of fun. I definitely recommend checking them out.
Which I think they actually just announced the third one.
Yeah, they've been successful and they're so much fun. So definitely check those movies out. And yeah, I remember watching this. I'm like, this is the hot chick.
Yeah.
But with like a serial killer. Even though I believe the guy who was like a robber or like a thief, because he like stole the thing.
Oh yeah.
And then like whatever. But who cares? That's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love this trailer. I thought it was awesome. I'm really excited for this movie.
Yeah, it definitely looks like a lot of fun, and it says it's coming out in theaters, but I would not be surprised if it just drops on video on demand.
Yeah.
At this point, you know. Okay, we're going to now jump into more Ray Fisher stuff because, and I know we've been talking about this a lot lately, but the more stuff that happens, the more shit comes out. Like it feels like each week new bombs are dropped, and this week,
Bombs!
and this week, Jason Momoa yet again dropped another fucking bomb. So he took to social media to show further support for his Justice League co-star Ray Fisher. Fisher, who plays Cyborg in the 2017 film Justice League, has been spearheading an investigation into the abusive and unprofessional set behavior that occurred on set during the Justice League reshoots. Both Momoa and Fisher went to elaborate that the frosty movie news starring Jason Momoa, who dropped shortly after his initial tweet, was meant as a distraction, as well as news of Ben Affleck returning as Batman. So there's a lot to break down in this. So first of all, when Ray Fisher first started going on his tirade, rightfully so, against Joss Whedon and Jeff Johns and John Berg about the Justice League reshoots, news dropped that Jason Momoa was going to star in some Frosty the Snowman movie with John Berg and Jeff Johns producing.
Mm-hmm.
So we saw that and it was weird and we didn't understand why, but it was whatever. And then Ray Fisher kind of came out with more allegations, and shortly after that, the news about Ben Affleck being in The Flash dropped, which this was right before DC Fandom. We were really curious as to why this wasn't held for DC Fandom. The fact that it dropped a couple of days later, we thought it possibly had gotten leaked, and that was that was that. Then this happens. Jason Momoa goes on a crazy tirade on Instagram.
First, last week he shares a photo on his story.
Well,
which we talked about,
yeah.
Right, and now it's a little more.
And now he goes into far depth, saying that the Frosty news was bullshit, which we haven't really gotten clarification yet if the Frosty news was just completely fake news, or if he's just saying that they released it as a distraction. But we still don't know about that yet. But if the Frosty news is not a real movie, that's insane.
Yeah,
like that's fucking crazy.
That is insane.
That's really crazy.
Which fake news.
Which might go into why Jason Momoa is not a DC Fandom.
I don't know. It could be. Maybe there's some
shit going on.
Some shit going on. Look, if you want, I feel like Jason Momoa is definitely one person that you want on your side, whether it's anything. If you're going to be in a bar fight, yes.
My man.
If you need like some sort of support in any way, yes. Like,
my man.
Okay, so for starters, like you were saying, let's kind of recap this, okay? If the Frosty news is fake and it was just put out there as a, just to for starters, because it's got links to John Berg and Jeff Johns.
Yes.
So it's pretty much saying like, look, you're over here complaining and accusing these people of a toxic workplace. However, your co-star is going to make a movie with them. Like ha ha ha, like it just everything just kind of felt weird. And if it's fake, that's super fucked up. If it's not fake and that they just went ahead and they just dropped it just to distract from the whole situation, that's still not great, Bob.
Yeah.
And then fast forward, when he tweeted out that they were going to essentially do a third party investigation, that's when the Ben Affleck news dropped.
Yes.
So he tweeted out saying that a third party was being involved to investigating, and it was essentially like a step forward. And then literally an hour and a half, because he put the timestamps, an hour and a half, the news drops of Affleck.
Yes.
Almost again to kind of draw away from it. And successfully it did.
Yes.
Because everyone was talking about Affleck after that.
100%.
No one was talking about the investigation into the Justice League reshoots.
Right.
Then he talked about how Walter Hamada, they had a meeting, and how Walter Hamada pretty much told him, like, look, we'll side with you on John Berg and Whedon, but you have to make amends with Jeff Johns.
Right.
He was pretty much like, no, fuck you.
Right.
I'm not gonna do that. And since then, it just upsets me, because I literally had a lot of faith in the people in charge, and to me, it just sounds like we're not going anywhere. Right. It sounds like we're not moving forward. We had some serious shit go down. Excuse me. We had some serious shit go down with Kevin Tsujihara before this, and some other people, and now it just seems like we're doing the same shit. We're just trying to, like, we're making stuff up, we're releasing stuff to cover other people's backs. We're just not really being supportive or properly, trying to take care of our peoples. And we've talked about it. We've all had asshole bosses, but this, to me, I just don't like this. This is just.
I know
gross.
it's getting. It feels like it's getting worse.
Mm-hmm.
And we're talking about these stories that have come out to try to distract away from the investigation. Just recently, The Wrap released an article saying,
I was very upset.
I was upset about that too, especially since, like, I am somewhat of a fan of Humberto Gonzalez, and he drops this story with information that we already knew, and it felt like a hit piece on Ray Fisher. That's exactly what it felt like.
Yeah, it felt like you're trying to suck Warner Brothers' dick.
It made it sound like that Ray Fisher was greedy because he was only offered a cameo in The Flash, and it made it sound like because he didn't get it that he went on a temper tantrum. And
and he's even come out and said how he went in there, Walter Hamada offered him the role, which you can go back. We talked about how Walter Hamada offered him the role, and he said he didn't agree with his character's portrayal in the movie.
Right.
For whatever reason, whether it was a small role or anything, he didn't agree with it, so he didn't want to do it. And it's just the same thing that he's been saying this whole time. It's accountability over entertainment.
Yep.
So offer me this, that's cool and all, but at the same time, I can't take away from the fact that we were treated like shit.
Yeah.
And then Jason Momoa comes out and says that they were also treated like shit. And again, Jason Momoa, so much money is invested into this guy at Warner Brothers, between Dune, between Aquaman, and the fact that he's just coming out and saying it, whether this Frosty movie is real or not. Family movies with, I guess, action heroes.
Yeah.
Have a pretty successful record in Hollywood. So,
and Jason Momoa has just this big personality, and Aquaman did make $1 billion, and a lot of kids went to go see it. And I think there's a lot of kids that love Jason Momoa, so to see him in a family comedy
he just
kind
has
of
a big
movie,
fan base between this, Game of Thrones.
Absolutely.
Like, the guy's fan base has really skyrocketed over the past decade, and good for him because we love him. And to have someone like him just literally, again, whether he is in talks to this movie, the fact that he's just saying, like, fuck you, I don't care, like, I'm gonna stand by my boy, like, good for you, like, that's awesome.
Yeah. And the only thing that I would say to this is Warner Brothers, you really need to fucking get your shit together and figure this out. Like, you need to do something, because this is really getting out of hand, and it's making you look like a bunch of assholes in the fucking in the media.
Yeah. And us as fans, we're supposed to trust you.
We're supposed to trust you. And we're supposed to support you with the movies that you're dropping.
And there's so much toxic fandom out there. Like, that's what, because now these fucking Marvel fans are gonna be like, oh, see, look, oh, you're all talking about how you had good people, now you still have the same assholes in charge.
Right.
It's like, oh my god.
Yeah, and this is becoming a trend, not only on this side of things, but you had John Boyega, who came out and said all kinds of stuff against Disney.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even know if you saw this. There's the actor that played Nobu on Daredevil. I believe his name is Peter Shinkoda.
Yeah.
He went through all kinds of shit that he dropped information like basically just been treated like a second-rate, extra on set, like
really?
where he had storylines of his character that were cut. And then there were some things where I believe he called out one of the Marvel TV executives. I don't think he's in charge anymore. I forget if I told you his name, you recognize. I remember.
Is it Promoter?
No, it's somebody else. But basically said that he had conversations with this guy and said nobody cares about like basically Asian characters. That was kind of the impression that he got.
Fuck you.
And
dude.
and it was also at the same point he also talked about how, you know, there were, I think, either stunt people or basically glorified extras that were on the show that were put up in hotels, and he had to fend for himself, basically, and him being like somewhat of a major character in season 2. Like that's insane to me. So this is a problem that seems to be happening all over the place,
right,
with actors not being treated right, whether it's because of the color of their skin or just disagreements or whatever. But it's really fucked up, man. And I'm really happy that people are actually coming out and speaking out about this, because this is some fucking bullshit. I mean, you know, studios are making money off of these guys, you know what I mean? And like this is, well, it makes me sick, man. It really does.
That's what if you go back and listen to the Big Stupid podcast conversation that they had with the comic book writer, it's like he goes into depth about how like Marvel doesn't really care. Pretty much Jack Kirby and Stan Lee gave them these characters that they're making billions of dollars off of. Like, give Kirby's family $1 million,
right?
You know, and it's like, but no, it's like we're just gonna invite them to the premiere. Like, you know, we'll play nice. And,
they're basically showing them off.
Yeah, and the same thing with Bill Finger. Like, they literally were trying to like almost sugarcoat the whole Bill Finger situation by inviting his family over to the Dark Knight premiere, by doing all these things, when in reality it's like, look, we know your dad created Batman, one of the most iconic characters ever. Yeah. But you know, we're gonna try to avoid any sort of backlash on our end.
I was gonna say too, I don't think Bill Finger got credit until BVS.
No,
which is crazy.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like that's when all the kind of everything was kind of unraveling, and it was kind of getting like, what, dude, seeing his name. When I remember when I saw BVS and seeing his name up there, like that made me so happy. Yeah. I'm like, finally he got. And if you watch the documentary is heartbreaking of just how he passed away, how he was essentially alone, and just everything.
Wasn't like he was broke? I think
he was broke. Yeah, he just died broke, alone in his apartment. Pretty much, it's like, it's tough. And this guy literally, so much of Batman was his ideas. Yeah, and it's just crazy. You know?
Right. That Bob Kane gets all the credit and he doesn't.
Exactly, and not just that, but that people's families, so to speak, are just kind of being like pushed aside. It's like, look, like that's also in the whole nother subject. It's like, look, you don't, you know, that's a whole nother subject of stuff. But yeah, like just give people their dues and know what they're worth in regards to like your properties. You know? Right. That's pretty much all I'm saying.
Yeah. So hopefully, you know, and I'm really like on the side of, you know, Boyega and Momoa and Fischer and you know, Shinkoda. Like I'm fully behind them, fully back them. Mm-hmm. Like this is some bullshit, and we've said this a million times. Like this stuff just has to stop, and it really, like, I can't give these guys enough credit for basically putting their careers on the line to try to change things, because that's basically how you get things done. Is you need to stir shit up, and that's what they're doing.
If you want change, you have to be changed.
Right. Mm-hmm. They're stirring shit up. So all the luck in the world to them, man. We definitely support them. That's for sure.
Agreed.
All right, let's jump over now to stuff we actually like enjoy. So we're going to talk about the brand new Mandalorian trailer.
Brand
spanking new. So Disney Plus dropped the first trailer for the highly anticipated second season of The Mandalorian. The teaser followed Mando in a search for the Jedi, while giving us a look at some of the new and returning characters, as well as the worlds they'll be inhabiting. The Mandalorian Season 2 returns next month on Disney Plus on October 30th.
So excited!
This was awesome, and they definitely did not shy away from showing off Baby Yoda and this quest that Mando and Baby Yoda are going to be on, looking for the Jedi, which is exciting. Some of the things that I noticed in this trailer, one is I'm pretty sure they're going to the Jedi Temple, because it showed them on like this one planet where it's like,
there's a lot of Jedi temples, my guy.
Well, the one
in Rebels.
Trust me, I'm not up to my Star Wars knowledge as much as you are, but it's like an ice planet almost.
Okay, that's where
it's in the Star Wars video game that just came out.
Yes, and in the Clone Wars, that's pretty much where the young Jedis have the rite of passage. Yes. So they have to go there. I'm not sure if that's the one,
but I'm saying it's where they get their kyber crystals.
Yes, that's the one.
That's the one I'm talking about. Yep. So it looks like that's where Mando's going, and that's really exciting to see.
Right, that's a really great episode. Definitely check that out, of Clone Wars. Okay. I'm going to start off with my negatives first.
Okay.
And then we'll jump into the positives.
You had negatives?
I have negatives.
Jesus, bro.
This trailer, in regards to what we got, in regards to the context, in regards to what was revealed, could have easily been dropped on like May the 4th.
Oh yeah.
Like it was like literally, Like 40% of the footage was just the ship outside, was just Mando walking, and it was little bit snippets of new things.
Yes.
This to me felt like a teaser.
Yes.
It was definitely like, it wasn't really like a trailer.
Right.
You know, so I don't understand why this wasn't dropped earlier. I really don't. You know, who knows what's going on in terms of like the post-production aspect and what happened with COVID, like who knows, you know, but to me, I'm like, okay, I watched it was fun, but a little underwhelming because I'm like, this is definitely something that we could have gotten months ago. Now that that's out of the way, holy shit. I'm so excited. I cannot wait. May sent me a amazing, you know that GIF of the anime character when he's like, "Is this something?" and he's like holding something up.
Yeah.
It was like all the Star Wars fans, and it's like, "Is this Ahsoka?"
Yeah.
Because literally, like everyone just sees a hooded figure
with an orange face.
and everyone just starts losing their fucking
Ahsoka,
mind.
yeah.
And I was like, "Oh my god, it's Ahsoka!" But
it's not.
I don't think it's
definitely not.
But yeah, just dude, there's just so much. The X-wings, like seeing those X-wings, like made my heart jump a little bit. Hearing that horn, the fucking horn that is such an iconic like sound, and yeah, all the footage of Baby Yoda. Mando's still out here kicking ass, fucking shit up.
I love the towards the end of the trailer. They're almost at like a boxing match with the two creatures that are in the boxing ring are like the guards from like that were guarding Jabba in Return of the Jedi. Like they're like
I don't remember
the pig face like green face kind of dudes.
I know the pig face that you're talking about. I don't know the name. I can't recall the species.
But they're fighting in the ring, and then Mando's obviously trying to meet somebody, and then they get into a little bit of shenanigans, and that's where you get this awesome, which the GIF is everywhere now. Or Baby Yoda just hitting the button, and
is it really?
His little pod's closing.
I missed that. Yeah, but that's awesome. Yeah, he was like, all right, shit's about to go down. What's it called? The Whistling Birds.
Yep.
Yeah, but yeah, he's still out here kicking ass, so fucking shit up. And yeah, I'm all about it. This definitely feels to me like your sophomore Star Wars. So aside from Attack of the Clones,
right?
But like when you think of Empire Strikes Back in regards to A New Hope, that was a much darker, more serious story, and that's definitely what I got from this. The first season was serious in its own respect, but it was a little bit of like I don't want to say brighter, but more of like a kind of like, I don't know how to say this, maybe more like family fueled, so to speak. You know, definitely more like in the lines of like A New Hope of like, you know, hope and
yes,
you know, like bright and shit. This guy definitely feels like it's going to be a little bit more darker, a little bit more serious, and I'm super excited for that. Again, we didn't really get much.
There's not much to really to chew on here.
But yeah, I'm just seeing Baby Yoda again, just seeing Mando again. The line when he's like, everywhere I go, he goes.
Yes.
And I'm like, yes, let's do this. I'm so excited. I am so excited.
So I don't want to put a damper on it, but
damper it, bro. Go ahead.
There's a bit of an elephant in the room when it comes to Mandalorian season 2, as we've heard a little bit of rumors that have been going around.
I don't want that damper.
No. I'm just saying.
Take that damper. Get the fuck out.
Get the fuck out.
I'm just saying there are rumors that have been floating around, but it's only coming from one little corner of the internet, and I don't want to give that person any clout, but I would say,
even though if we did, it literally would make no
difference, but
still don't want to.
I'm just saying I don't want to pay any attention to it, and I don't think you guys should either. And you should say that person fuck off, and regardless of whether or not it's true, we will see, but just be excited for the show, man. Get ready for it, because it's coming full steam ahead.
So pumped. And I'll listen to what the people in charge are saying.
Yes.
If those people are saying like, no, we didn't have production troubles, what you're saying is not true, I'm gonna listen to those people.
Yes.
Also because I really don't like the other person.
I don't want to listen. I would agree 100%.
Yeah, but I'm pumped, man. I'm so ready for season 2. I'm ready for more Baby Yoda. I'm ready for more Mando. I'm ready for these characters. I'm so excited for these characters. I swear to God, if we see Bo-Katan wielding that dark saber, I'm gonna lose my mind. Oh my God, I'm so excited. I'm gonna be screaming a lot.
Yeah.
During the season, I just know it.
All right, finally, our last topic of the day, which finally Marvel.
There's another topic.
I thought
that was the last one.
No, bro, we got one more.
Oh Jesus!
Finally, bro.
This episode is beefy.
It's a beefy episode. So finally, Marvel drops something of substance.
Oh.
Kang the Conqueror.
Kang.
So Lovecraft Country and The Five Bloods actor Jonathan Majors has been tapped for one of the lead roles in the next Ant-Man movie opposite Paul Rudd and Evangeline Lilly. Nothing has been confirmed as to who he's playing, but sources close to the project are saying he's likely to portray supervillain Kang the Conqueror. No release date has been given, but Peyton Reed is set to return to direct with Jeff Loveness.
Jeff Loveness, baby.
Who's Jeff Loveness?
He's a writer. Remember the I Am Groot, the comic book art that I posted.
Oh, he's the one that
he
did
wrote
that?
that line.
Oh,
Yeah, he
that's
wrote
awesome.
that. He wrote that.
Well, he's
series.
He's paying the script.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Which is
Very
awesome.
cool. So I had to kind of look up who Kang the Conqueror was because that's a bit of a deep cut for me in terms of like the Marvel comics. But he sounds.
I gave you a little flavor.
You gave me a little flavor, a little him talking to Dr. Doom
and Sarah Connor
and Sarah Connor, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But I like the fact that he's like a time jumper almost.
Right. He's a almost like a he's oh my god. What's the word?
Like an alien?
He's not an alien. No,
Okay.
he's actually Reed Richards' great grandson.
What the fuck?
What a twist!
Yeah, you didn't know that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Nathaniel Richards. He's essentially his great grandson who uses Doom's sort of time traveling technology to go back and a lot of his stuff is all technology.
Oh, okay.
It's not really like superhuman.
So he's a human.
Yeah, he's a human, and he just has all this different technologies from all those different points and times and different timelines. So
right.
he's jumping between different multiverses, between different timelines, between different Earths, between different time periods within those times. Get Christopher Nolan to direct this
I know,
movie,
right?
bro.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's a human.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. But I do like it because people kept hearkening back to that line Tony has in Avengers Endgame where he goes, when you mess with time, it tends to mess back.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, I think, where a lot of this is starting to come from. So that's really cool to see. And yeah, with Jonathan Majors, he kind of is more of a newcomer, but he's kind of exploded onto the scene. Last year he had, I believe the movie was called The Last Black Man in San Francisco, which I had not seen, but I heard really good things about it.
It's really good. I've seen it.
Yeah, and he was good in The Five Bloods, and then Lovecraft Country, I've only seen one episode, but I really liked it, and I can't wait to really jump in more to that show. But I like him. I like him as an actor. He brings this really nice presence to the screen, and the fact that he's playing one of like the Avengers' like big villains is very exciting. And this is kind of a nice leap forward for what Marvel could potentially be doing with like the whole multiverse aspect as they go forward into their phase 5, I guess you could say. So Martin, for the fact that they're bringing in this character, I guess that means that the Fantastic Four is not too far off from the MCU.
Right. That is because I know I said that he is Reed Richards' great grandson. However, he has taken multiple identities over time.
Right.
But like that's those are things that he kind of has acquired through because I know that he became like because the art that we posted with the Pharaoh.
Yes.
So there is like a lot of that's kind of tied into Moon Knight and all this other like he was known as a pharaoh at one point too. So he's had different identities. But yeah, like kind of like the OG one is that he is Reed Richards' great grandson. But you're 100% right because Kang does have a lot of tie-ins with the Fantastic Four.
Right, and like you said, like with Doctor Doom.
With Doctor Doom, yeah. So yeah, I'm excited for this, and I tried to look it up. I can't think of the word or the term
that's used to describe him.
Yeah, it's really pissing me off. But he's just pretty much I can't even bullshit it.
Like an entity.
No, he's not an entity, but he's just pretty much he's like a time cop, I guess. So if you fuck with time, he's gonna come out here and like pretty much.
That's what it is. When you mess with time, time tends to mess back.
So he's just like
he's like an authoritative figure of time.
I guess. Yeah, there's just like a really good way of saying that I just can't pull it out right now. English is not my first language, unfortunately. This is gonna bother me. It's gonna bother me.
I know it's gonna bother you, but you'll find it at some point.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing too is that they're using Ant-Man to introduce him, like bring him in, which is really strange because I thought maybe like Doctor Strange would be more appropriate because he's with the time stone and everything, but like the fact that it's Ant-Man is really
Ant-Man was essentially the first person who kind of opened up the multiverse.
That's true, and
he's the first person who like kind of did the whole time jump.
Right.
So it could be a thing where he comes and he's like, Scott Lang, you are responsible for all this fucking bullshit in regards to time. So and even in like the one-off, the 2018, I believe it was Synchronic, I believe, or something with an S. but it was Ant-Man and the Wasp #1. It starts off with them fighting Kang.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Okay, so there you go.
Yeah. So that was actually not too long ago. That was like 2018.
Right.
So for all we know, they probably were already kind of putting the stones into motion, like because it was like a one-off.
Right.
It was like a Synchronics or something presents Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah.
It was like a 6-part issue, but yeah, they kick it off with him fighting Kang and kind of how they're fighting essentially like in like the multi-stream.
Oh.
So yeah, so there's ways that you can bring.
So let's say so visually, this has the potential to be something pretty cool, man.
The potential to be super trippy, super colorful, super out there, and this is awesome.
Yeah.
If he is gonna play Kang, there's no fucking way he's gonna be a one-off. Kang is an MCU villain. And
but is he really classified as a villain though? Is he kind of more just like he has his principles and he's going to stick to them and like for whatever reason that makes him an antagonist against the Avengers?
Right.
But maybe
think of like Zod.
But maybe he's not like a bad. Is he a bad guy though? Like does he hurt innocent people? Does he want to conquer the world? Like does he have those intentions or no?
I would say when you think of someone like Zod or Thanos.
Yeah.
Because Thanos is essentially killing people, but in his mind he believes it's right.
Right.
He's doing that for a reason.
Yes.
So he's like that too.
Okay.
So he's got his strict beliefs and depending on the sort of consequences and outcomes of that, as long as in his mind it's fine, he's fine.
Right.
Yeah.
This is exciting though because now we kind of have somewhat of an idea of where Marvel is sort of steering their ship post Avengers Endgame now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I am really excited for this.
Yeah, I remember I told you and you're like, oh my god, he's playing Kang.
Yeah, playing Kang.
Yeah.
Love Kang.
You've been saying the last couple of days, Kang.
All about it. Let's do it. Give me all that Kang flavor, baby. And I've already seen some sort of fan art of him. So
I saw that too.
Yeah, and
he looks pretty legit.
Looks pretty cool.
Yeah,
looks pretty cool.
Looks cool.
Pretty damn cool.
Pretty cool. Pretty damn cool. Woo!
So I'm pumped. I'm really pumped.
Yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm. All right, Nerds Nation, that's going to do it for us on episode 20. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening. Remember to like this video and subscribe to our YouTube page. And remember, you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and anywhere else where you can see that big, beautiful FN logo.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Martin, anything else to add before we go?
Yes, I just want to say I'm going to keep saying this for the next couple episodes, but I am literally dying. Okay? If you think of the person who you know has the worst allergies, I guarantee you mine's are 5 times worse. Literally, I'm struggling. My face is itchy. My throat is itchy. Like the inside part of my cheek is like weird. Like on the inside, it's like itchy, and I'm struggling.
And you also have like this weird immunity to like all allergy medicines.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Nothing like works for you.
One time I went to the doctor. They gave me 18 shots, and they were like, "You literally have no reaction to any of them." They're like, "That's never happened before." I'm like, "Yeah, because I'm a fucking mutant." Like those shots are supposed to like determine what's gonna work for you.
Oh, I've gotten that before.
Yeah. And I got 18 of them because like, you're supposed to start off with like I believe like 6.
Yeah.
And then they were like, "Okay, nothing." And then they did like another one. They're like, "Okay." And then another one. They're like, "That's it. Like that's all we got. That's all we got. Like we literally cannot help you. Like you're a weirdo. Like get out of my office." Yeah. But yeah, I just consider myself a mutant. But like I said before, unfortunately, my mutant X gene does not give me cool healing powers or like beams or teleportation. It gives me itchy faces, scratchy throat, itchy ears. Like whenever the camera's on Nick, I'm just like fucking clawing away. So if I sound if I sound weird or like annoying, I apologize because I don't mean to, but it's gonna be like this for a while.
It just happens, man.
It just happens.
That's just it is what it is.
I hope my allergy, nasally, weird podcast voice doesn't turn people off.
Bro, the Nerds Nation loves us, and they'll deal with it. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Yeah. Also, like I'm not like on drugs or anything. If you see my eyes like really puffy, my face pale, I'm probably like OD'd on Zyrtec. So yeah, it's gonna be a rough ride. Just let's put it out there. We missed the spring allergy season because of COVID.
Yeah.
So we didn't really have much to shoot. So I got away with that one. But oh yeah, I got spring and fall are bad. Like bro, here it itches. Here it itches.
On your finger.
Like inside.
Yes, so you can't scratch the itch.
Yeah, and it's just it's bad.
It's very
bad. But bear with us, guys. Bear with us.
All right, dudes. We'll catch you guys on the next one. On that note, of all those allergy-filled stuff, we'll catch you guys on the next one.
Bye.